Hello and welcome to Success Stories. Success Story is that show where we talk to different students of Ekcel Academy who have passed the CS exam, and they share not only their story but lot of tips for you to do well in your exam. And joining me today is Srinivasan from Chennai. Hello Srinivasan, welcome to Success Stories.
Hello, sir. It's a privilege joining with you in this wonderful occasion.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining. It's actually great that a lot of students who are watching this will be getting a lot of tips from you. So Srinivasan has cleared module 2, and before that he had already cleared module 1. So now you're in CS Professional. So how does it feel to be in CS Professional?
In a way, I feel motivated of myself, and I feel better. Mature to face a same kind of examination with a well-prepared mindset. Because crossing 2 levels of testing, the final level, we'll have that maturity. Some kind of a professional attitude gets inculcated within us.
If you have cleared foundation and executive, you will clear professional. Generally, even to tell you, like after being in teaching from 2011, what I have seen, everybody who has cleared executive has cleared professional. Somebody cleared first attempt, somebody cleared third or fourth attempt. In very bad luck case, I've even seen students clearing in 6 or 7, 8 attempts. But they will clear, and not just for Srinivasan, and whoever is watching this, I'm telling. Let me tell you, in my personal experience also, I found executive more challenging than professional. We are not saying professional is easy, but you are trained how to study for professional exam. That means the professional course like CS or CA. How do we have to approach the exam? How do we write answers? So mentally we are prepared, or like Srinivasan told, you have become mature. So professional subject is actually not easy, but you are prepared in a better way as compared to entering executive. When we enter executive, everything looks like stars and everything looks so difficult. So anyway, coming back to Srinivasan, so when did you decide to take company secretary course? Because generally, since I know you are a topper in school and every other place where you studied, they'll usually tell, anyway you're topper, you go take CA. That was the general phenomenon. How did you decide CS?
It to be hilarious to break that stereotypical thought of all the matured Indians. And in a way, I was very particular that I should not take CA. For the first reason is I didn't accept the altitude of CA. Of course, it's a very well reputed and regulated professional course which has a wider scope, and its altitude is something bigger, and we can't anticipate that. And particularly that, and as far as the training setup, 36 months of article training and level of competence to some extent, all those made me to think that if I get CA as my career opportunity, I'll get stick on to that particular curriculum, and it will be in a way, even if I clear all the testing levels in the first attempt, it will make my career constricted to one profession. I got to know about our profession ACS because myself and my friend, we both who studied along with me in the same school, we both took ACS in the same attempt. In fact, he cleared both the modules in the same stretch in August 21 attempt. Particularly at that time when I got to know about ACS as a career opportunity, which is majority law-centric examination. I love law because my family background is associated with law. In a sense, my grandfather, I don't want to mention his name now, but he is a popular public interest litigator down south. So I took after him. Because since it is a way of a legal profession which have an argumentative mindset and greater representation as a career in the future. So that also instigated me to some extent to join this profession.
Very good. In fact, that's very mature for somebody who's just finished class 12 to get all this understanding and take a decision is good. And many students feel that CS is something related to just filing documents. But like you rightly said, it is the legal concepts which are there. You have studied legal subjects. For all purposes, you are as good as a lawyer. However, it is in corporate laws and allied laws relating to corporate. So very good clarity. So now when you are talking, you briefly mentioned module 1, you took coaching in physical class. Then what made you choose Ekcel Academy for module 2, regardless of what had already happened with you? What made you take this decision?
Actually, sir, in order to have a clarity regarding that, I have to start from my foundation journey, which I had in Chennai. Foundation, I enrolled in the same academy where I did module 1. And as I told, I showered in foundation with an All India 17th rank. And which made me to join. They offered me a scholarship, and I joined module 2. And for module 2 particularly for ACS is entirely related with our own professional subjects like SLCM. You see certain chapters like ICDR and all. For CA final, it's there, ICDR.
Nice.
But we are studying in Inter. EBCL competition at CA final, it's there, but we are studying in Inter. So this breakup, particularly for this breakup, they were not only that particular institute, any of the institutes in Chennai, they were not much acquainted with module 2. So the coaching for module 2 was much restricted there. And another part is the cost of education. For module 1, I afforded around 30 to 33,000 per module over Chennai here, because the demand is like that. Not only for this, for all the 3 professional courses. When compared to that, Ekcel Academy's coaching is quite economical, and but I want to congratulate and compliment you for making it in a service motto. See, we also have some kind of a profitable mindset, but the demand which this profession has, and the scope which it produces, and the value which it gains, and for that the cost of education is comparatively much lesser. So that philanthropic setup really makes me to inspire at you, sir.
Yeah, that's
So
very
that was
good to
one
know. Thanks for your good wishes. So now that you joined Ekcel Academy, before we even go there, first you tell us like the marks, because in 3 subjects you have got 70 plus marks. It's a very, very difficult thing in a professional course to get something above 55 itself is so hard. And in 3 subjects in module 2, you have got 70 plus. So what was that secret? Like, what did that special thing which you did to get 70 plus?
Actually, sir, I'll before starting that, I'll put a rider that please, other students, do not follow this kind of a guidance, because what Alok sir does in the regular curriculum is much better and much affordable for each and every student. It will be apt for each and every student. So don't take some inputs. That's up to you. I can't influence it, but I'll tell that I should not be a misguidance for the aspiring CS professional students. Particularly, sir, I am a person who is prone to distractions, and some few days I used to study 1 hour, and someday all of a sudden I'll study 10 hours. Even if you take a hour, in that hour, if I study for 15 minutes, I won't forget the part which I studied in those 15 minutes for next 2 months. That is my birth's gift. I don't know, but I won't forget it. It would even be stored in the vague memory. During the 2020 attempt, that too during the first pandemic wave, I spent months without even touching the book, by seeing the ceiling. literally, sir, literally. That's what I'm telling. This should not be a misguidance for all the students, because an ideological mindset of idleness would have occupied us. Days went, online classes got shifted up, and I'm also doing my regular BCom here, and those classes also got shifted to online. So staying at home, sitting in 4 walls, obviously it used to get conflict.
It is common. Everybody will get disturbed, correct?
So I got hecked like that, which made me, that was one of the reasons, because I'll add a step more, that if I had given, but for me, fortunately, by God's blessing, my both exams for the 2020 attempt, my module 1 exam as well as my BCom exams got clashed there, and in my home they were very particular for giving importance to graduation, because the certainty factor, right? Fortunately, due to that pandemic first wave, they came out with an option of opting out, and I opted out. Fortunately, if I had given that attempt, honestly speaking, without any self-boasting, I'll tell that For sure I would have failed. For sure, because it was entirely a different personality. It was not
No,
me
what
who
you're
was
saying
studying
is
for.
actually good. See, you're telling with all what you're saying is actually good, because whoever
Yes,
is
sir.
watching this they'll be feeling, oh, I'm wasting time or I'm not good enough. But even from that situation, you can do a complete 180-degree turnaround and score 70 plus. So you may be feeling that you were guilty not to study or distracted, but your story per person who is watching is actually going to be inspiring, that even if they are wasting their time now, if they start to study and if they be regular, they can clear just like you and even score 70 plus. Yes, please go
Exactly, sir.
ahead. So what were the other
Exactly, sir.
secret things to get
Yes,
70
sir.
plus?
That's what. Then again, it happened, sir. In 2021, it started. I enrolled with Ekcel Academy. I started watching your videos and taking notes. Sir. Still, I was not particular regarding my preparation. Just I was attending classes. I was taking notes. That's it. But in the month of May, turned my life upside down. My grandpa's death. I told you, my grandpa's death on May 4th, everything got shut up. The fortunate point here is the day, due to the second wave of pandemic, the postponement date which got released on May 4th, the day of, when my grandpa expired. The same day, this notification was given by our institute. So these facts made me to think that, see, first module if you had given, I would have failed. For sure, whether attempt doesn't matter or it matters. It is an attempt. We can't deny it. Mistake is a mistake, right? I got escaped. Opt-out option. Okay, well, my grandpa's death. May, month of June, you just anticipate that 26 days hardly for the exam. At that day, postponement announcement came. Second blessing. If God won't give much chances, or nature, whatever the case may be, hereafter you have to be cautious. I just plugged my head down, and all those 10 days of all those after death rituals happened. And in the month of June, after writing my BCom exams, August 10th, I think, announcement came that exams will be started. I had around 2 months time, 2 months, hardly 1.5 months, for to be exact, around 55 to 60 days, uncle. Sir. So that those 60 days, rigorous preparation. I started with 12 hours of study. That too, particularly before 20 days of exam, 5 days allotted for each module, and I studied around 20 hours nearly. In the morning, my mom used to feed me breakfast. In the afternoon, she used to feed me lunch. In night, my sister used to feed me dinner. Only 3 hours of sleep. I studied the book at least 2 times and revision of 1 time 3 times. I was very confident with the provisions. That I know how to crack that paper down, how to deal with that paper, even in the worst setup, which made it do it. Of course, actually, that's a bad mindset. Why I'm telling? Because I'm applying that rider now, which that lack of writing practice made me to lose less marks in company law. I scored only 48. And I didn't have the practice of practicing previous year question papers. If I had practiced, for sure I would have gone for exemption. SBC I got 65 and got exemption. But company law, I advise my fellow colleagues to go for writing practice, particularly for at least company law. Other subjects also, if you study on your own, that's up to you. But company law, for sure, you go for writing practice, because that is the only paper where the institute targets the student to fail down. Because it demands a profession, right, sir? Our career is all about company law. That's it, sir.
Module 2, now tell us, like,
Yes, sir.
module 2, how did you start and how did you take ahead your studies
sir.
in module 2?
Yes, sir. Module 2, the same kind of preparation only, sir. But at that time, thanks to you, because new professors got introduced at the time of August 21, like Swati ma'am for capital markets, Abhishek sir for corporate accounting, and particularly CA Abhishek sir for corporate accounting, sir. Literally, I want to thank. I also thanked him personally in the chat box and in this personal chat. Without Mr. Abhishek, my score in corporate accounting would have been null and void. It was a spoon feeding session. I suggest the students to attend. I also won't suggest my colleagues who have taken class in Ekcel Academy to go for fast track session. If you are confident enough, go for fast track session. But if you have time, go for the elaborated session of 110 videos. He would have cracked down the entire book. It is literally spoon feeding. None of the other professional institutes will offer this kind of a training, like a school education, which made me to crack down with a score of 73 in corporate accounting, and thanks to Abhishek sir particularly, and your guidance in SLCM and EBCL sir, because Abhishek sir's EBCL videos I watched it to some extent only because I didn't have enough time, but he was very much particular in explanation because his way of explanation attracted me a lot, and your guidance as far as SLCM and EBCL, the way of preparation for a theory paper and the mindset which we should have, I inculcated it a lot, and which made me to prepare myself for those two theory papers. And Raksha ma'am's motivation, particularly for FM, was really remarkable. Each and every session of recorded videos, she used to motivate, and then only she used to start. And it was really a positive sign, sir. Hats off to such greatness.
So, how did you prepare for financial management? Because there also you have scored very high marks.
As far as FSM is concerned, I expected each and every question in the question paper, sir. I cracked down literally the entire 16 chapters. Leave the practical questions. 10th chapter is irrelevant because big questions are not there for MCQs. And irrespective of that, one chapter theory filtered out. 14 chapters from each and every chapter where that institute will test. I mean, to be a layman, I tell that if I am setting a question paper for myself, how I will thwart it down to the most toughest extent. I prepared and marked the questions in such a way which led me that to see that paper in a much familiar, in an easier setup to approach that question paper, particularly FSM. And questions were, I attended only 78 questions, or out of that I scored 77.
All this will definitely help you in your long career ahead. So
Yes,
you're going through all this, very emotionally difficult to lose such close family members, and despite all that, you have cleared executive. I think that is something many people who are watching this will definitely understand and take some hope, because we get a lot of students saying, especially in COVID time, family members were no more, or it's a very negative atmosphere, right? The whole COVID was very negative and very difficult for whole world, and especially in India it was very bad second wave. So that time many students gave up. So I think your story should inspire them, saying that yes, there will be 100 problems we will face in life. It could be health issues of family members, or it could be financial issues, it could be something which is not in our control, but we should not leave our target and our goal, which is to clear this exam and enter this nice profession of CA. So that is very good. Now next I wanted to ask you is this. See, now you are done module 1 in another academy and you came to us for module 2. So what did you see? One, you took a decision to come, but once you came, what were the things which you really liked or which you felt is special in the module 2 coaching from Ekcel?
Honestly speaking, the number of students first, sir. Here we are in my ACS class over Tamil Nadu. Now they have increased the number of candidates in my own academy. Still, I'm in contact with my proprietor. He's a really nice person, and due regards to him because he motivated me a lot. But in our academy, as far as your academy, our academy, Ekcel Academy is concerned, after joining our academy, first I saw a number of members around 200 to 300. First I thought I got scared. Okay, professional environment here. People will be 24 hours of studies. That too. That time I was lazy, right, sir? By seeing these kind of daily professional talks and doubts and all, I'll get in a way motivated. I'll feel ashamed of myself that what are you doing? Everyone, they are moving forward. What are you going to do in life? That kind of mindset happened. But later on, I got acquainted with the level of arguments and doubt clearing sessions and all. And then I got to know that okay, we are in the right place at present. And in a way, I thought first by seeing such a humongous crowd, I feared. But later on, I understood that that's my motivation. That's my motivation, and it is one of the best environments. Sir, even I discuss, even I don't use my Telegram, I'll just take that Ekcel Academy's group and what people are talking, I used to watch it. Like a daily 24-hour routine, right? People, what they used to be asking doubts. Sometimes they'll post doubts, I will post my answer regarding the doubt. I'll ask some doubts, it was literally right before examination and all, even during the time that in between 1 day gap and all, night I used to see that Ekcel Academy's group, what people are talking regarding how they did their exam. It was really healthy, sir. Really, it was. The way of the initiative which the academy takes is really inspiring, and hats off to you, to your excellence.
Great. So now one more thing, you were talking about all the friends you met and the classes being good and all of that. So next thing is that end of the day, it is your preparation, and you told us how hard you worked, all that is true. So if
Yes,
you
sir.
have to give tips, because you told I did some mistakes or I did not do this right, what is the suggestion which you would give to students? Because now
Yes,
that
sir.
you're in a position to give suggestions, since you have cleared module 1, module 2, suggestion, I'm not saying advice, at least suggestion that this
Yes,
is the
sir.
mistakes I did. If you are in executive, I suggest this, like that. What
Yes,
will
sir.
you tell?
Yes, sir. I mean, you're telling at least giving a term suggestion. I'll tell my experience. That's way better than
Okay,
suggestion
sure.
because my preparation was like that. It is completely unfamiliar with the students. My first mindset is do not take me as an example. Please do not take me as an example. Have a regular routine of around 5 to 6 hours study because uniformity will always succeed. Another thing is have a regular routine. At least study for 5 to 6 hours a day. Have a writing practice, particularly for theory papers. Follow your curriculum. Schedule your work for each and every day. That day, that work, that study, that success. That's it. Now and give mock exams. Whatever practice and to the return extent go for because even memorizing the provision makes your memory to store it last longer. If you ask me, I won't guarantee that, but written memory will somewhat be stored. Other than accessing printed notes, your own notes is something special for us, right? So have a separate notes for yourself, and that's it. These are all the holistic professions, and later on, and basically my mindset is irrespective of the academy, irrespective of whether it is the greatest academy or whether it is a mediocre academy, my mindset is 60-40. I'll ask aid of the academy for 40%, 60% I'll do my effort. At the end of the day, we can't spoon feed in this kind of profession. What Excel is doing is much advanced because we can't demand these kind of personal attention for students. So that's not possible. That's even for asking for this kind of attention won't do any kind of a justice because the professionalism is something which has to be inculcated within that particular person. That insight has to be developed within us. It is not something which has been pushed from outside and getting stressed on us. So that's the main mindset which you should have. But in a way, you guys are already doing good. But stay focused. Have a regular routine which will make you to succeed for sure in a much better, uniform, and a satisfactory manner. Not like what I did.
Okay.
I should not be a bad example.
Sure. Good that you have told whatever you feel is important for students. And like you said, daily routine and having a uniformity makes a very big difference. Next important thing is like especially for studying for CS, it's a professional exam, and end of the day we are entering the profession. Everything in the corporate world will happen in English, and now we have international transactions. But coaching, many students maybe they prepare in Hindi or other language. So how was this English coaching which became a big advantage for you?
First of all, English coaching, since the teacher faculty, majority of the people, I think all the faculties are professional. So a professional setup, in a professional setup, how professionals used to communicate, that too particularly for our profession, company secretary is also a good communicator, right? So there's no need for a separate explanation for that. By a profession itself, the faculty team is well versed in the language of English. And one more thing I have to add on here, I think our academy is organizing spoken English classes for grammatical mistakes and in order to have a better way of communication. I hope my English is quite legible, sir.
Yeah,
you're able to understand
it is good.
Yes, sir, because I didn't go for any of the classes, but I'm just asking for my verification because you are a good tutor, right? But spoken English class, that too being a professional institute, there's no need for you to organize those kind of classes because professionalism is something. If you don't know to interpret a provision, how you can study law? English is the basic for studying law. So by having that mindset, organizing spoken English classes, something phenomenal. Yeah, which has to be noted down. And those who are struggling with English, in the sense, if you don't know English, no way. It won't make you derogatory or discriminatory in any manner. That it's just a language. It is no way related with our knowledge. That's another factor. But that too, being in a professional which demands better communication skills in order to have a fluency and good phonetics as far as our communication is concerned, it's better to have an English coaching background. So in that way, Excel is much convenient. Of course, we can't also find fault with the academies which are in the north. Particularly, they also used to produce better turnouts for all the three professional courses, irrespective of the classification. But the target audience, they expect Hindi because they also want to understand the provision at the end of the day, right? The concepts and the clarity. So I'm not finding any fault in it, but to have a setup which is much inculcated with English is very good. Right from my childhood, I'm not acquainted with Hindi. In a way, it's an advantage. In a way, it's a fault. We can't find. I don't want to get behind the quality of that, but English. Having these kind of curriculum with English as a common medium of exchange is much better, sir, when compared to other languages.
Right. Wonderful. So I have been very frank and very open, and that is really going to help whoever is going to watch this. So now if somebody asks like, why should I join Excel? So what would your reasons be for them?
First of all, if you are much acquainted with Hindi, and if you find any of the academies, other academies as convenient, that's up to your opinion. And in order to have an English setup, that too apart from curriculum, the way you want to have a better motivational session, you want to get motivated, you want to have a typical academic school-like setup, not even a college. College and all, we can't expect these kind of things. But to have a school-like setup, Excel is much convenient, and particularly for executive, the way of coaching is more than enough for giving this kind of particularly our competitive exam, this level of testing. And sir, for executives, a filtering stage, as you already told, the level of turnouts in executive is much less when compared to professional, irrespective of the difficulty. But having that as a matter, in order to have a good environment and a comfortable environment, Ekcel Academy has a better say as far as South India, even for the entire country is concerned, because I think this is the only academy, to my knowledge, I'm putting the rider to my knowledge, this is the only academy, as far as I'm concerned, communicating in English, next to my academy, which is there in Chennai, but they used to communicate in Tamil, because target audience there is Tamil, right? A mixture of Tamil and English. Though you are from a Kannadiga background, you are not using Kannada, right? You are entirely communicating in English, so that matters a lot.
Great, very good. So you have been amazing analysis and maturity. I'm quite impressed at your age how you are telling, and this will definitely take you very high in the CS profession in future. You've got all the right ingredients. So I think we got a very good picture of how your journey has been, and most important, which I felt, than what you studied, how hard you studied. It's not easy to lose two very close family members middle of the studies and still clear. I feel that is a bigger achievement from your side. With all due respect, even if you got 70 plus, I'm not saying it is anything lesser. Of course, it's great, but what is greater is that emotional disturbance and managing that, not leaving the target with so much negativity and sorrow around. That is the main message which I feel whoever watching this should take inspiration from.
Yes, sir. And from my side, I want to congratulate you and thank you for inculcating a tutoring aspect of myself, because after getting classes from Excel and after understanding the way you teach, I'm guiding one individual who's around 52 years old. He is in a very management cadre in one of the reputed pharmaceutical industry in our country. Since my profession and designation demands him less time to acquire the professional classes, I'm guiding him, literally I'm tutoring him for all the 4 class coming courses. In module 2 particularly, he's giving this attempt in this June. So I'm having discussions with him. I'm encouraging him how to approach each and every chapter, the crux of the chapter. From there they will pick a question as to how I prepare. I'm making him to give this attempt in a much flamboyant manner and come in flying colors. And I am also open to suggestions and help. As far I'm from my colleagues side who are there in Excel, any clarifications, any help, any experience, I'm ready. I'm all, irrespective of classes, irrespective of subjects, I'm there for to help everyone. So that's the main attitude which I got inculcated from myself. Apart from being patient, from Ekcel Academy, at the tutor aspect of myself.
Great, wonderful. So that was Srinivasan who cleared Module 1 and Module 2 and now is in CS Professional Program. Hope you got some inspiration from this success story. For more such success stories, please subscribe to Ekcel Academy. We'll always be there to support you.